The day my life flipped upside down began like any other, until it didn't. I was on that plane, the hum of engines mingling with soft music. Then, she vanished. My seatmate, a woman with wild dark hair and piercing green eyes, simply blinked out of existence. One moment, she was there, her laughter brightening the cramped space, the next, just air. Confusion roared like a storm in my chest. Passengers gasped. Whispers danced around me, carving through the tense silence. "Did you see that? Where did she go?" My heart thudded, each beat a jarring reminder that this wasn't a dream. It felt deeply personal, like she had taken a piece of me when she left. I glanced at the seats beside me. Empty. Goosebumps prickled my arms as I searched for a clue, something tangible in the chaos. A man across the aisle stared, his eyes wide, terror etched into his features. I couldn't breathe. My mind raced to stitch this puzzle together, but with every attempt, I felt lost. Each moment stretched, tangled in confusion and fear. A flight attendant moved through the aisle, her face a mask of calm, the calm before a storm. "Everything's fine, folks," she said, but her voice quivered, sparking doubt. I wished I could ground myself, find solid footing in this surreal nightmare. Everyone around me was caught in an unspoken panic. My heart synchronized with theirs, a pounding drum of dread. Suddenly, a man 2 rows back shouted, "What if she was never here?" His voice sliced through the growing whispers. My eyes darted to him, then back to the same empty space. The strange silence felt heavy. My skin prickled as I thought about the unsettling implications of that statement. Who was this woman? Why did it feel like I was part of something bigger? The cabin shuddered as we hit turbulence, drinks spilling, hands gripping seatbacks. I clutched my armrest, trembling. Were they all caught up in this bizarre reality? Or was it just me? A flash of light caught my eye, a glint from her seat. I reached down, fingers brushing against something cold and metallic. A ring engraved with a symbol I didn't recognize. The plane lurched again. Screams erupted, and then a sharp hiss. The air around me crackled, a low, threatening hum. I turned towards the cockpit, my breath caught in my throat. The pilot's voice crackled over the intercom, but it wasn't his voice. It was something darker, something deeper. "Prepare for descent," it said, distorted. Descent? My heart raced faster. What kind of descent? My stomach dropped as I realized I wasn't just witnessing a disappearance. I was ensnared in a gripping mystery. I had to unravel the threads binding my past to this shadowy figure I never knew existed. Before I could speak, the lights flickered violently. I didn't just want answers now. I needed them, before we plummeted into whatever awaited us below. Before you go on, let me tell you something. A lot of people have been saying that YouTube, out of nowhere, unsubscribes them from the channel. Take a quick look to make sure the red button is on. That way, you won't miss any of the videos still to come. And while you're at it, hit the like button, because it really helps me keep bringing you stories like this. Oh, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to know. My heart was racing. I clutched the ring tightly, feeling its cold metal bite into my palm. The distorted voice still echoed in my ears when a sudden realization hit me, like a frigid wave crashing over me. I knew that woman. No, I hadn't just met her once. She had been my sister, Chloe, gone for over a decade. I had mourned her. I had buried my grief. But here I was, alive. The implications twisted inside me. Where had she gone? Why was she on this flight? Panic surged, feeling raw and suffocating. Everyone's eyes darted around, whispers boiling, but my world was crumbling into silence. The air felt thick. Hallucination? This wasn't a coincidence. The flight attendant was staring at me, her horror replaced by something colder, more calculating. Was she part of it? The air crackled again, and I realized we were plummeting. My breath left me. It wasn't just turbulence. It was a descent into something horrific. "Chloe!" I wanted to scream, but my throat was tight. She had vanished, and now it felt like I was losing myself too. A powerful shudder rattled the cabin. I looked around. Panic was morphing into sheer dread. Did they know? The man who shouted earlier, his eyes darting to me, did he suspect? The ring felt like a weight dragging me down, a tether to a life I thought was over. I had to understand. I had to get answers before the ground swallowed us whole. But all I could think was she coming back? And what if she wasn't the only one lost to this chaos? The unsettling silence thickened, a suffocating cloak of fear. I wasn't just on a plane anymore. I was a player in a game far beyond my understanding. Everything shifted. I was spiraling, and this time it wasn't about the flight. It was about the truth, my truth, and it terrified me more than anything else I had ever faced. My heart slammed against my ribs. Chloe, how could it be? Awakening this buried grief was like tearing open old wounds. Suddenly, a voice broke through the haze. "You were supposed to keep her safe." The words sliced through me, cold as ice. I turned. The flight attendant, her eyes glinting with malice. That calculating gaze twisted my insides. Safe? What did she know? The cabin shuddered, and I felt sick. My breath felt stolen from me. I wanted to shrink away, but I was pinned down by the truth. What did she mean? Supposed to? I thought I had lost Chloe to an accident, a tragedy. What if I was the one to blame? An angry hush fell over the passengers. I could feel their eyes boring into me. Accusation? Confusion? Every heartbeat echoed in my ears, drowning out the chaos. Then, another thought crept in like a thief. What if this was my fault? A shiver curled down my spine. The ring felt too heavy now, burning with unspoken curses. I stared at it, anguish pooling in my chest. What dark truth was hidden in its metal? "Chloe," I barely managed to whisper. My throat constricted. The panic morphed into something deeper, an abyss of dread. If she wasn't dead, if I had failed her, fear gripped me like a vice. What had she experienced? Where had she gone? And why? I wanted to scream, but the words died in my throat. The silence hung like a thick fog. I was spiraling, trapped in a web I could barely understand. The plane lurched again, plummeting. "Help!" I gasped, my voice petrified by terror. Did anyone else sense the gravity of this? The temperature dropped as realization washed over me. If I had been the one to lose her, hearts raced. The walls closed in. But then, the lights flickered once more. A question loomed heavy in the air. Could I bear the truth? Would I risk everything for answers? My mind screamed one word, even as the descent continued. "Chloe!" My chest tightened, squeezing out any breath. Chloe Howell. The weight of that single name crashed over me like an avalanche. I had buried my grief. I had learned to live without her. But here I was, on this cursed flight, teetering between reality and unbearable truth. Then the flight attendant leaned in, her voice icy. "You still don't know, do you?" I froze. What was she saying? What do you mean? The accident wasn't an accident. You're the reason she's gone. Shock paralyzed me. I couldn't breathe. My mouth went dry. The cabin buzzed with chaos, but her words rang louder. The passengers are shifting, murmurs swelling like tides. I felt eyes on me. Accusation? Confusion? Liar, I hissed through clenched teeth. But doubt crept in. The familiar sting of guilt pricked at my heart. On that day, all those years ago, had I truly let her slip away? My fingers trembled, the ring cold and heavy in my hand. What do you know? Her smile slithered across her face. It wasn't the look of a stranger. It was something more sinister. Everything. A wave of nausea rolled over me. What truth was she hiding? What dark past lay beneath? Chloe, please come back. I screamed, but only silence answered. The plane lurched again. Panic swept through the cabin. I was spiraling, drowning in dread. Questions loomed, each one more horrifying than the last. If she wasn't dead, where was she? Why had I failed? The lights flickered violently, and fear gripped me. Had I really lost her forever? Or was this just the beginning of an even deeper darkness? Are you ready for the truth? The attendant sneered. I wanted to scream, but the words wouldn't come. What truth? My heart thundered. The ground was approaching. I was caught between the crash of reality and the echoes of my past. Chloe, where are you? What have I done? Every beat of my heart was a heavy reminder as panic surged. And then it hit me. What if she was never meant to find her way back? The silence after that thought grew monstrous, a prison of fear. The breath caught in my throat. I couldn't comprehend her words. My heart raced. What do you mean I'm responsible? I felt like I was drowning. Chloe was taken because of you. Her tone chilled me. What? No! You're lying! I spat, the taste of panic bitter in my mouth. The ring in my palm twisted. Memories flooded back. Our fight, my anger, my refusal to help. I had pushed her away. The guilt sank like a stone in my stomach. What if I had caused this? My vision blurred. Stop! Just stop! The cabin trembled. I could sense the whispers. Accusation, disbelief, shock. The passengers were watching, like vultures. This was never just an accident, she sneered, leaning closer. She trusted you. You let her down. Pain hit me. I gasped. Had I really betrayed her? Was this my penance? Chloe! I shrieked, desperation clawing at my throat. The lights flickered again, shadows dancing erratically. I couldn't breathe. If I was responsible, why are you doing this? Because the truth sets you free, she hissed, eyes gleaming with malice. Everything spun. I was losing control. What truth? But the answer hung in the air, suffocating. The cockpit's distorted voice returned, soft yet sinister. Prepare for impact. My stomach dropped. Chloe. Was she really gone? Was I losing my mind? The overwhelming silence rushed in. I felt the weight of her absence pressing down on me. And then a disquieting thought struck me. If it was all my fault, how could I ever forgive myself? The world outside seemed to rush at us. The ground was coming. No! Chloe! I screamed, my mind racing with a haunting question. Was she lost forever? Or was she out there, waiting for me to bring her back? The cold sweat dripped down my spine. I was terrified. Would I survive the revelation? My heart slammed into my ribs. What do you mean? I'm responsible. I gasped, the words tasting like ash on my tongue. The flight attendant leaned in, Her voice low. You never knew, did you? Chloe was meant to find something, but you derailed everything. My breath hitched. What? What are you talking about? It wasn't just an accident. It was planned. And you led her right into it. The room spun. My stomach twisted as old memories flooded back. The argument, my selfishness. I had pushed her away. Had my anger really cost her life? You left her to fend for herself. You thought it was just a fight. Stop! You're lying! My chest tightened, panic clawing at my throat. Just look at the ring, she taunted, her eyes glinting with cruel satisfaction. I looked down. The ring felt alive, humming with dark energy. A flash of realization hit. This was more than just metal. It was part of her. My body shook. What did you do? Nothing I didn't have to, she sneered. But this isn't just about you. You've awoken something terrible, and now it's coming. Her words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Everyone was staring. Panic seeped through me like poison. What's coming? Chaos. And you've sealed Chloe's fate. The plane jolted violently. Gasps erupted around me. My mind reeled. This wasn't just turbulence. Was it true? Had I really lost her forever? The silence enveloped me. Darkness seeped in. I felt their eyes staring, judging, waiting. Chloe, I screamed, but my voice was swallowed by the weight of truth. Had I really failed? As the ground rushed up to meet us, one thought pulsed like a drum in my mind. Was I the monster? No, the architect of my sister's demise. The world felt black, a void around me. I braced for impact, but the question lingered, sharp and unforgiving. Could I ever forgive myself? I braced myself for the impact, but a voice broke through the chaos. It's not your fault, it whispered, but the words felt like a mocking echo. You have to trust me. I turned to the flight attendant, confusion bubbling in my gut. She was smiling, but not in a comforting way. Your sister, she's alive, she said, leaning closer, breath icy against my skin. No, that can't be. Panic gripped me, my heart racing. She was chosen and so were you. You both hold the key. Every word stabbed through me. What are you talking about? The room spun. Their eyes were piercing. You were meant to protect her, but instead you've opened a door to something monstrous. My chest tightened. A door? Yes, a portal. The silence grew heavy, suffocating. I couldn't catch my breath. You're connected in ways you don't understand. Suddenly, the lights blinked, then went out. My heart thundered in the dark. A jolt of fear shot through me. The ground was closer. Chloe, I screamed, panic clawing up my throat. Was she really the key? And if it was true, what had I unleashed? The cabin trembled. My mind spiraled. Then the ground rushed up. A deafening roar filled my ears. I was left with one harrowing thought. Could I save her? Or was I too late? The roar of the plane filled my ears as adrenaline surged through me, drowning out chaos. I felt faint, clammy sweat prickling my skin. What did you say? I gasped, barely able to breathe. Her words hit me like shards of glass. I led her to this? The flight attendant stepped closer, the air trembling with her presence. You're not the sister she thought you were. My stomach twisted violently. That's a lie. No, she leaned in, eyes glinting with sinister warmth. You're the reason Chloe was estranged. You didn't just fight, you severed ties. She chose to reach out, and now? The weight of realization slammed into me. My hands trembled. Now what? I whispered, fear pooling. She's entangled in a world where trust means nothing. You entrusted your sister to fate, and now fate is knocking on your door. The murmurs of the passengers morphed into a buzz of disbelief, suspicion. They were watching me, judging. "You're the architect of her downfall," she taunted. My chest tightened, raw under the weight of her words. Everyone seemed to know but me. My heart raced, cold dread washed over me. "I didn't know." "Maybe it's time you face that before it's too late." The lights flickered, shadows closing in. My mind raced. Had Chloe really needed me? Did she find something, someone? Panic shot through me. I couldn't shake the question. What had I truly lost? And then, as I grasped the ring tighter, the air thick with tension, I knew I was about to lose everything again. The air crackled with tension. My heart thundered, drowning out the chaos. "You're wrong," I shouted, but doubt slinked in. What if she was right? Chloe was never just my sister, the flight attendant hissed, her eyes bright with menace. She was a sacrifice, a pawn in this game, and so were you. Panic clawed at my throat. "What do you mean?" My hands trembled, the ring icy against my skin. "Your lives were tied to a prophecy. You think this pain is random? You both were meant to fulfill a purpose." Every word felt like a jagged knife. My breath caught. What purpose? I glanced around. Each passenger was wide-eyed, frozen in disbelief. Whispers swirled. Did they hear this? Did they understand? The attendant leaned closer. "You were meant to protect her, but you failed." A sick feeling twisted in my gut. "No, I loved her." My voice cracked. "I wanted to save her." "Love isn't enough," she spat. "You were chosen to be her shield, but you turned your back." Stunned silence enveloped me. The realization sank deepest of all. I wasn't just a sister. I was a failure. The weight crushed my chest. "Prepare for impact," the cockpit growled. This truth spiraled within me, frayed at the edges. My heart raced with dread. The ground was coming closer. "Chloe!" I screamed, but the name echoed into a void. Had I lost her forever? And then a new thought emerged, sharp and venomous. If I was meant to save her, was her disappearance part of my punishment? The world spun around me as the cockpit's voice grew sinister, announcing our impending doom. But in that moment, clarity crashed in. Not of failure, but of purpose. "I can't lose you again, Chloe," I cried, gripping the ring until my palms bled. Then bright lights flooded the cabin. A blinding flash enveloped me, and suddenly I was somewhere else, a sunlit field where Chloe stood, radiant and unharmed. Her smile pierced through the shadows of my guilt. "You found me," she said, laughter breaking the chains of sorrow. As we embraced, the plane fell into silence. The weight of my choices lifted. We were both finally free. It's amazing you're reaching. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait any longer to share. Confirm your channel subscription so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Write in the comments your reactions and theories about the ending. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. If you liked my story, keep going and watch the next one that's appearing now. I think it will move you too.